Welcome to Apex Esports League. I'm JT. Tonight we're bringing you the Beyond Blue Formula V Championship on iRacing, and tonight we have round 2 and we're heading to Long Beach Street Circuit. We saw some fantastic driving going on at Brands Hatch last week. So the session details tonight: we have a 10-minute practice, weather is clear. Qualifying is 10 minutes, and then the race is 40 minutes. Weather will be clear throughout. There is an ongoing weather variation of 20, so we could see a bit of variation to the weather as it goes on. But it should be pretty exciting to see. We've got 40% cap fuel, so drivers will need to head in for a pit stop. So in the standings after the first round, we have Chaz Mostert leading the championship after taking a clean sweep. So he's got 155 points on the board, and not too far behind is Sebastian Varndell and Brad Newman. So our results from last week at Brands Hatch Circuit: we had Chaz Mostert, as I said, take the clean sweep, so taking pole position, getting the fastest lap bonus points, and also taking victory. So well done to Chaz. And of course, this series we are proudly supporting Beyond Blue, so it's a big cause to get behind for Australia. So statistics from 2019 that suicide is the leading cause of death for people aged 15 to 44, and in 2019 suicide accounted for 1/3 of all deaths of young people aged 14 to 24, and 3,318 people die by suicide in Australia, which is on average 9 people every day. And Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people are twice as likely to die by suicide. And with Beyond Blue, they support people experiencing anxiety, depression, and those at an increased risk of suicide with counselling, information, advice, and referrals. They do aim to respond to 80% of their calls within 60 seconds, and as you can see on the chart there, a lot of people sought advice. So 273,845 people sought advice through their web chat, email, and phone. And if you or loved ones do need support at any time, there is a 24/7 telephone service. They aren't a crisis support service, but there is someone there to talk to, and they can refer you. Number is 1300 224636. So it's a very worthy cause to get behind. So we'll be going over onto the track now. Bring up some overlays in a moment. Chase view of Cooper Murray there. Currently got 12 cars registered. A few drivers still loading into the session. We did have 21 cars last week. And we've got a couple of professional drivers joining us as well. We've got Cooper Murray. He does drive in the Porsche series, so you may have seen him on TV racing in the Porsches. We have Chaz Mostert, of course, from Supercars Australia. And we should have Jake Kostecki, who we had last week, in here. Not sure if he's joined in yet. He was in the practice session with the guys before heading over here. Sebastian Varndell takes second last week, so managing to get up on the podium with some of the professional drivers, so it's great to see. And he's only a young fella, so good to see our members being able to get up there and race with some of their favourite professional drivers. It's been very exciting, and we did manage to just get Chaz in for the podium interview at the end. However, the broadcast did end as he was just signing up to our Discord server, but he's all got that sorted. We had a chat with him, so we may be able to get him in for an interview if we do have him on the podium. So be sure to stay tuned at the back end of that. We should have a fair few new debuters as well. We've had an influx of members joining the lead over the last few days. And of course, we'll have have our familiar faces on the track. Sean McKenzie we had last week. Maybe his first race, I cannot recall. Cesario is a regular. It looks like a bit of blinking going on. Not sure who that is just ahead of Matt. Russell Gander debuted with us last week. Aaron Thompson with Clutch Kickers. It's a familiar name with Apex eSports League. Actually matched up with Mark Horton, also with Clutch Kickers. We have Robbie Bradbury with Century Motorsports KFC. Usually got Stephen Banks teamed up. He is in the session, he's just not out on track just yet. Graham Ellis debuting with us tonight, only just joined up with us only moments before the start of the race. So welcome him aboard and wish all the luck. Troy, yes, some more lower grade drivers filling out of your league. Yes, it was quite funny. A few of our drivers who didn't get any practice in, they're usually pretty keen, and lots of practice sessions between all our members coming up to each round. And then a few of them mentioned that they just jumped on, hadn't even driven the car at all, got in and realised the names that were on the track, and then thought they probably should have done a bit of practice. Oh, we've lost a wheel, we've had someone spin out. That was Neil McKenzie having some issues on that turn into the back straight. And there's Cooper Murray, who's currently parked up. I think that's maybe him peeling off at the moment. Trying to find out his quickest time so far. Chaz Monster takes a 1:38.4. In the practice session that our members were doing before this, they were actually saying that I think it was a 1:38.2 that was set by Chaz. I think it was 1:38.6 by Cooper Murray. We did have Sean McKenzie in practices yesterday doing a 1:38.8. Blake Urquhart, who's a regular driver with us as well. He did win the Logitech G Supercars Championship a couple of series ago. And there is our practice session complete. Drivers only have 10 minutes to qualify. And it's very important as they will be getting championship points for qualifying position. We've added that in at the start for this series. We have only just ran points for finishing place in the race. If you are familiar with Apex eSports League, with our Project Cars 2 series, drivers earn points for the qualifying position. So we have tried to match that up so it's a similar point system. So Jake Kostecki just starting to make his way out now. We'll get some lap times up and go on board for a hot lap around Long Beach. And of course, we are supporting Beyond Blue, as we mentioned. We are raising funds for Beyond Blue. You can just see it's up on the screen now. We've currently raised $315. We've got a goal of $500. That money does not go to us. That is actually linked to the website at the top right of the screens, the fundraise.beyondblue.org.au/Apex eSports League. So you can head there, make a donation of any amount. Any donations over $2 are fully tax deductible. And it'd be great if we can get some support. We are aiming to see if we can at least get $350 raised by the end of tonight. And then for our Project Cars 2 drivers to get involved in the fundraising, we will be hosting some additional races should we reach some goals as we progress to our $500 ultimate goal. If we can get to $350 tonight, we will be holding a no rules race on Project Cars 2 on Friday or Saturday night this week. So that's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of cheating. It's going to be quite spectacular to see. And then if we can reach $450, we will end up holding a smash-up derby for Project Cars 2. So that's going to be very exciting. Van Gisbergen yet gallant. He did join the league on Tuesday morning after these guys. We are still getting a fair few drivers jumping in on board at the moment. We now got 18 drivers registered. We've got 7 minutes to be able to register and get in. So you're close to getting some first times on the board. Jake's. No, it wasn't Jake that was just going for the spin. If you're joining us for the stream, there is a bunch of sound effects controls underneath, so you can play cheers, applauds, clapping, all sorts of fun sound effects. Ooh, just scrapes that wall. So be sure to cheer on your favourite drivers. It's first times coming through now. Chaz Moss sets a 1:38.2 straight up. I'm going to jump on board with him for a lap around. He's on some phenomenal pace at the moment. Oh, he does scrape. You can hear a tiny scrape using the full length of that track. He took a clean, another wall contact. So this lap's probably not going to count. It's not probably going to be really too much of an issue. We're already putting down 1:38.2, a little bit of a slip. He wasn't happy with that. He's bringing that in. Let's see. Way back on. Let's jump on for the remainder of that lap with. We'll do a full lap with Jake. Everyone we're jumping onto is pulling the car up. That's quite funny. So there we are. So we're heading around the fountain. So that's into turn 2 at the hairpin. Nice tricky corner in turn 3. That curb you can hit pretty quick. Turn 4, the curb is very slippery and can put you out into that wall. Very tricky corner, getting right up along that wall. A little bit of a scrape of the tyre. Oh, he's just slid that. We're cursing everyone that we're jumping on board. We haven't had commentators curse for a while. We may be able to get a clean lap soon enough. Not sure whose whereabouts we are at the moment. I'd like to finish off the rest of the lap. Everyone's starting new laps. So hopefully we don't curse Sean. We'll see if he can put down a very good lap. Would be fantastic, Gal, if they can donate something like that. If you do make a donation, I will see notification. I'll be able to update the tally board. Don't forget to make yourself known in the chat. Let us know who you think is going to take the win. Will some of our Apex members be able to take on our professional drivers? So far it's Chaz, Jake and Cooper in 1, 2 and 3. Blake Urquhart's in with the 4th quickest time. Very nice corner. It is a very slippery curb here. It tends to get a lot of tail slip coming through this section of the track as well. You got to get that car nice and across so you can get that perfect line. This is where you lose a lot of time on the final hairpin. Going to be a pretty decent lap for Sean. It's probably going to be 1:39.5 or 1:39.1. So that moves him up into 5th position. That's a very good lap. the blimp down along the back straight there. And see just how quick they are going out and around that. This is the section where it is quite slippery. Actually, it's a very nice turn and very perfect line. He does make some wall contact as he comes around. So we'll make our way through the rest of the list. Well, we've got 2 minutes left to qualifying. We've got Bradley Morris too. Also in the Century Motorsports KFC car. Bruce Robinson's made it in, so we've got 18 registered. We've got Troy Mortensen, but he hasn't actually loaded into the session just yet. But he's loading in currently. Aaron Maguire, and I think I'm not sure if that's Track Day's car. Once again, they're heading into the pits currently. So where do we get? And Stephen Banks now out on track. It's currently running 8th instead of 139.3. And Chaz has just set a 137.8. That's a very quick lap. His fastest lap before that was a 138.2. If you are new to joining us, don't forget to hit that follow button. I think we're up to about 137 followers now. It'd be great if we can see that get up to 140, even 150. It's great to see all the support we're getting for Beyond Blue and for all our drivers as well. Good to see to be getting some professional drivers on board to get behind a great cause, and also to be able to get involved in our community and race with our members. I would be loving being out on track with them at the moment. There's 10 seconds left of qualifying. Chaz Mossett currently holds pole. Well, there's a spin there. I'm not sure who that is. That may have been Bradley Morris. So Jake's brought the car in, same as Cooper Murray. So it's last laps now. Sean McKenzie, I'm not sure if he crossed the line. He looks like he's pulling up, so he must have only just got across. Same as Blake, he's finished it. Sebastian's parked up in the pits. Mark Horton's sitting super tight. Not sure who he's tucked in behind there. There was not much room staying there. Hey, cool boy, thanks for joining us, mate. And there we have qualifying complete. Only a few drivers left to do it. So we have Chaz Mostert taking pole position, followed by Jake Kostecki, Cooper Murray, Sean McKenzie, Blake Urquhart, Sebastian Van Dil, Mark Horton, Stephen Banks, Aaron Thompson, Robbie Bradbury, Matt Tessera, Neil McKenzie, Bradley Morris, Russell Gander, Graham Ellis, Aaron Maguire, Troy Mortensen, and Bruce Robinson. So a few not getting times on the board. Drivers waiting around. Bruce trying to get a time in. He does get a time on. That's a 1:47. So we'll move him up a few spots. So let's put him into 14th position. And Sebastian just probably AFK at the moment. the drivers, having a chat to them just before heading into the session. Loving the Formula Vs for those that hadn't actually done the track and the cars. Loving it. It is a very well suited track for these cars. I do believe we've ran the Formula Rookies and Project Cars 2 around Long Beach. And you can actually do night races around here on Project Cars 2, however, it's not very good for iRacing, as it doesn't have any track lighting. You don't get any of the fancy street lights from all the very weird structures that they have around the track. All it is pitch dark, so it's not very good for us to be able to have a race under lights. We'll have the drivers, I've got 50 seconds to ready up. Still 6 to hit ready if they do miss the start of the race. They will actually have to start the race from pit lane. Still a few, we've got 4 more to hit that ready button. Chaz not quite getting ready. We've got the light count down. I don't think Chaz is, well, he is there. I know he's starting from the pits. He's missed the countdown. That's going to definitely cost him. Yes, off they go from the pits. They've missed the starts. That's put them back quite far. To Sean McKenzie takes the lead of the race from drivers missing the start. Troy Mortensen is actually in the session. So he missed the start or disconnected straight up. Sean gets away to a very good start to the race. Blake Urquhart sitting nice and tight on his tail. Blake is looking to hunt him down very quickly. And our pole setters and race leaders from down the back, all starting from the back end. We have Chaz in 15th, Jake in 16th, and Cooper Murray in 17th. Handicapping themselves at the start of the race. Troy, that's you, Troy. That's what's happened. Internet crash. That's unfortunate. Are you able to still get in mid-race and start from the pits? I was going to say, Galen and Mickey, I've seen videos of people doing iRacing set up with a controller. It can be done, so Mick could definitely get in on it. Sean McKenzie still leads the race. No, Blake just got ahead on the straight. He slung shot around. We have Sean on that inside line, but he's going to be carrying a lot of speed. He needs to pull back out across towards that line. Narrowly avoids Blake side by side down through turn 1. Blake just touches the wall with the tyre. Oh, lock up and a touch. That's Sean. He's been bumped off. A little bit of rubbing from a slip. Now Chaz and Jake has now moved up into 12th and 13th. Blake Urquhart out in the lead, followed by his teammate from mid-set line, Sim Racing, Sebastian Vandel. Sebastian did take podium last week, taking the number 2 position. Brad Newman take third. Brad's not in this week. Whole time was a 1:37. It was very quick. Looks like there's been no incidents so far. It's been pretty good, clean racing for the first lap. Sebastian looking to have a go at Blake. Stephen Banks and Sean battling it out for position 4. Stephen swings out for the inside. Maybe that was a little bit premature. He's just lost that advantage of that sling. These cars really enjoy a slipstream. We've seen some great passes from some slingshots. He's going to go for it for an inside line. This is where we saw Blake Urquhart and Neil McKenzie battle it out in the previous lap. Bit of deja vu again. Oh, it's a little bit of a touch. He's gone for a spin. He's lost a wheel. I think that's going to have to be a tow.
The yellow flag is
So
out.
safety car out. Not sure. Did he? No, he didn't lose a wheel. We have Mark Horton just take the lead. I think he's got to give the position back. He did actually cross after the flag was out. So we'll have 2 laps under caution. Hey, Callan, yeah, on board. Laps with Weaven. Putting it back. Let's see if we can see how far back we can get for him. Session fastest lap. Let's see if I can find him just before. So we'll jump on board. See what happened. So that clip of that wheel, he's lucky he didn't lose that front end. That was very lucky. Could have gone much worse, so he has towed that car into the pits. That's probably good timing to do so while the race is under caution. From down the back end. This is going to allow a few of the guys to catch up. Oh, a little bit of blinking going on for Graham. It's Graham Murray currently in 15th position. Russell Gander in 14th. The restart will be single file. Bradley Morris is in 12th. Chaz heading into the pits now. Not sure if he's got some damage to contend with. That was a very quick stop. Maybe he's just doing a little bit of splash of fuel. So pit lane will be closed at the conclusion of this lap. Any drivers using pit lane will actually be penalised and have to do a stop and go penalty. Chris Robinson currently in 11th position. Tessera in 10th. Jake Kostecki makes his way back up into 9th position. That's a pretty quick recovery for 3 laps from starting from the pits. Aaron Maguire in 8th position. Neil McKenzie in 7th. Was doing a pretty quick lap last one around as well. His fastest lap was a 1:41. Robbie Bradbury in 5th position. Sean McKenzie, after a little bit of a tap between him and Blake Urquhart, still managed to hang on to 4th position. Mark Horton is in 3rd. And the midline sim racing guys leading up front. That's a pretty good position for Sebastian Vandel. For him to try and get a lead on the championship coming out of round 2. Only just sitting about, I think, 22 points behind Chaz Mostert. With Chaz missing the start and going from the pit lane, it's going to be a good opportunity for him to try and get some points up and maybe get ahead. That's great, Troy, yeah. Definitely not bad. I got out there for the guys to do a few laps on the weekend. I was definitely struggling to try and keep pace with what they were setting. They're getting 138s and 139s. I think I managed a 141. So this will be last lap around. Stephen Banks looking to try and quickly catch up to the pack. So he's had that car fixed up. He's keeping some solid pace. Sebastian's staying back just a little bit. Sebastian's really good at the restarts as well. He really pushes the limits. We've seen him make some fantastic passes, gaining a couple of positions from the restarts. So definitely one to keep an eye out for. Yeah, that's right. They do lose a lot of tyre temps. Safety car is incredibly slow, especially for 2 laps around here. Should be in. Sometimes it gives 3 laps if cars haven't been caught up yet. Doesn't look like it's peeled off, but it does aggressively turn off. No, it hasn't. We've got another lap around. So drivers are going to have to looking to keep the temp in those tyres. Maybe waiting for the rest of the traffic to close in. We have Stephen Banks caught up now. And the track is Long Beach Street Circuit. John? We've got 17 cars out on the track. See a few drivers riding the brakes, doing a bit of trail braking around. The Porsche took off pretty quick around the fountain there. Sebastian really tucking back still. I'm not sure if he's can do a few bursts of speed and get them brakes up to temp as well. Getting larger grid sizes, we probably will end up looking at having our own pace car driver, so that way we can actually control it and only have 1 lap if need be, and have a race control. So, do stay tuned for that. It has been in discussion for a little while. And safety car's lights are off. Stephen Banks. So all cars have caught up. And for our newer members, don't forget our social media links are down below. There's our Facebook page, fb.com/Apex Esports League. So we can keep up to date with all our results, standings and incident reports from any accidents and bumps and the likes that go on through the race. So drivers would have been given notice that safety car will be away. Yes, safety car is in, so it's a restart now. Blake is controlling the start.
Green flag,
Green flag is out. And we're away. We cross the line, and it's the start of the race again. Now on lap 6. Blake and Sebastian doing very well with the restart, setting some good pace to push out a lead over Mark Horton. So they've put 1.5 seconds on him from the restart. There's racing going on through the field. A little bit of contact between Robbie Bradbury and Aaron Thompson. Doesn't look like any damage has been taken. Oh, just heard some wall contact. And too wide we have, I think it's Matt Cesario. Well, there's been a spin, he's just managed to get out. That's alright, he has not made contact. He's able to rejoin the race. It's Neil McKenzie who has had the spin. A scrape on the wall by Blake as he takes that right-hander. Russell again and Bradley Morris sitting very tight for a battle for position 11. They have Chaz Mostart quickly closing in behind them. We have Sebastian Van Del chasing down Blake Urquhart. Very similar lap times. That was a 1:39.022 for Blake and 1:39.264 for Sebastian's time. Sean McKenzie and Mark Horton side by side down into turn 1. Sean just brings that car just in time. He's carrying a lot of speed around the fountain. It's starting to slip behind just slightly. Mark had a very good run onto that mid-straight. The race leaders Blake and Sebastian holding tight out front. They're now putting on a good 4-second lead over P3. We have Jake Stecchi starting to close in on Robbie Bradbury. It was 1.5 seconds. He's got it down to less than a second now. Very quick around the final hairpin. Robbie did get away a lot quicker on that exit speed. See him quickly closing in on his speed. He's about 10 k's quicker than Robbie. Brilliant pass. Gets up in alongside. Gets out in front in time. Very nice pass. Gets around through turn 1. Robbie's not giving up on him just yet. So manages to keep that pace behind him. Sebastian has taken the lead. And that was the new session fastest lap, being set at 1:37.5 by Cooper Murray. So seeing qualifying times here in the race. Blake looking to take that position back from his teammate Sebastian. A little bit of oversteer from Sebastian. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. Well, there's a bit of a right rear lock up from Blake, and he also clips that curb just a little bit too much. Sebastian didn't get away too quickly. Good amount of cars closed in for 3rd to 6th position. Oh, sorry, in 7th. Mark Horton having to look at blocking Sean McKenzie. Ooh, that's a hit. I heard some noise. There's been a spin. That's Blake and Sebastian. Not sure what happened there. And they've been a spin. Wall contact. Ooh, that is very lucky. That should have been a lot of damage. They recovered from that very quickly. So Blake's lost a position. He's down into 3rd. But Sebastian still managed to hold the lead. So after an incident like that and to be able to recover so quickly and still have the race lead, some fantastic driving. Has Blake sitting very tight on his tail. He goes up along the inside into the right-hander. It's along in front of him. Jake Kostecki then also passes Blake. Blake may be dealing with a little bit of damage as well. Ooh, there's contact. Quickly gets that car out of the way. And Blake did redress that as well. He did stop and allow Jake to go through. Jake's now moved up to the 5th position. Chaz Monster has had a brilliant recovery from starting from the back after taking pole position. He's moved up into 6th position now. And he's closing down in on Aaron Thompson. Like a little bit of war contact from Sebastian as he went around that. You can hear a few squeaks as well as he's going around. He's definitely got some suspension damage going on with that car. We are just past the halfway mark. It's Blake heading into the pits. He can be using this opportunity to get the fuel filled into the car. It'll be enough to get through the remainder of the race. The drivers do have fast repairs, so they can get that car fixed nice and quickly. Jake taking on Robbie Bradbury, gets up along inside. And moves up into P3. Robbie almost tries to go for a switchback. Final hairpin. Yeah, Sean McKenzie and Aaron Thompson doing battle for position 6. Sean swings out along pit straight. He's going to have a brilliant run down into turn 1, but he's going to have to shave off a lot more speed. He's going to run the risk. Oh, there's a little bit of slip going up ahead. There's Robbie Bradbury hitting the brakes. He's going to have Chaz Mostert putting some pressure onto him very shortly. He's closed in around the fountain. Some helmet cam. Chaz as he's chasing down Robbie Bradbury. Slingshots out, but he's going to have a very bad line for here. He's going to have to own that track position. He does. Gets around brilliantly. Now has Jake Kostecki in his sights to get position 3 away from him. Sebastian currently leading the race by 4 seconds. He's got some back markers coming up as well. He's going to have to try and get around them cleanly and safely. Previous series, Sebastian's had a lot of bad luck with passing lapped cars. having lost race leads from instance cause, trying to get around. Starting to close that gap in on Russell Gander. Jake Kostecki sitting real tight on Mark Horton. Mark can definitely be feeling a bit of pressure now. There's not a whole lot of room between the two. But knows to get right up in behind. He's very close. Getting around nicely. Brilliant line. Down onto the back straight. Chaz also makes a move around Mark. And Mark hold on and keep pace with these guys. Not let them get away too much. Well, Chaz gets a very bad line, so that's allowed Mark to get up alongside as he approaches down into the S's, coming onto the final hairpin. Did end up losing that speed through the hairpin, but he's still hanging on. See Robbie Bradley just peel off into the pits. Matisera also following him down into pit lane. Chaz quickly closing in on the tail of Jake. Jake hold Chaz off. Here a few wheel scrapes going on. There's been a spin. That's Sebastian. That's with the back marker as well. Oh, no, that is Blake. Blake's made contact getting around, so I'm not sure who it was. It was Blacker. It was with Cooper Murray. He's made contact with Cooper Murray. Let's see if we got time to go back and see what happened. That's obviously not enough time. What's going on there? So it's seen Blake and Cooper. They put them out for any chance at getting a strong finish. And my bookmarks didn't add in time to be able to go back and see what happened there. Both drivers having to tow the car in, so it'll be a lengthy pit stop. So we'll see them in there for a while. They can get the car fixed quickly, but it usually takes 2 minutes sitting in pit lane while the car gets towed. Chaz and Jake both still battling it out. Carries a lot of speed coming through that corner exit. He's going to get a very good run onto Jake to be able to slip out. But he's going to have to really commit into this corner. It's very slippery to come out. He gets that much quicker. Dominate that track position, and then Jake have to back off a little bit of speed. It's allowed him to get a good run through onto the back straight. Sebastian Van Del leading by 4.3 seconds. His last lap was 1:39.4. Chaz Mostert was a 1:38.3. So that's 1.1 second difference. 4 seconds in it currently. And we did see Chaz pit in under the safety lap. So it could very well mean he's got enough fuel to last out the remainder of the race. Sebastian will need to pit. Jake's not giving up on having another go to take that position from Chaz. He gets up along inside down into turn 1. Chaz not wanting to give up that position lightly. He did hold his ground. He was forced to yield. Jake gets up over that curb, loses a little bit of speed to put him offline for approach into that next right-hander. Gets around in positions along inside. These two are swapping backwards and forwards. Two are playing cat and mouse on these last couple of laps. We're lap 15. There's 11 minutes remaining. We have Sebastian Vandel still leading out in front. He's lost 1.1 seconds. That 5-second lead's dropped down to 3.3. He's led for 7 laps. We did have Blake lead for 8 previous. Jake opting to head into the pits. Sebastian also in the pits. That means Chaz takes the lead. Will be interesting to see if Chaz does have enough fuel to last out. The cars have had their fuel capped to 40%. I think it's enough to get about 2/3 of a race done. Beneficial to Sebastian and Jake. If Chaz isn't carrying enough fuel to be able to last out the remainder, we'll have to pit in again. If that's the case, he's going to have to really try and focus while being out in front currently and put down as many quick laps as he can. Fastest lap of the race so far is a 1:37.567, and that's by Cooper Murray. He's still currently in the pits. I think he's jumped out of the car as well. Looks like Blake has also jumped out. So they're probably doing replays while they're waiting for the tow. Oh, there's been a spin going on the back. I'm not sure who that was. Get any off-track notifications, unfortunately, so it's I think it was Graham Ellis that made some wall contact. They bring the car into the pits. It seems to be handling all right, so he's going to battle through. Don't forget, you can see our fundraise goal on the stream. You can see we've raised $315 of 500 goal. So do dig deep if you can throw in some donations. If we can see they get to 350. This week we will be doing the No Rules race on Project Cars. It's going to be a lot of fun. We did trial that during some casual nights when we had our couple of weeks break from our broadcast. It's quite fun nudging cars off the track and cutting corners, so full track limits will be removed. You don't even have to wait for the lights to go green if you choose so. It's a lot of fun, so dig in and go for it. So a little bit of spacing going on with our drivers now. Pavement Cesario starting to close in on Neil McKenzie's about 3 seconds away from him. He'll start to close that gap in. Looks like he did have the last lap a little bit slower, about 4 seconds off his pace. Robbie Bradbury is a few seconds away from Mark Orton. He's still managing to hang on. He's still only 3 seconds behind from Jake Kostecki. He has been in and pit as well, so he's going to be able to last out for the remaining 6 minutes. That's all going. No, so Chaz has gone in and pit. He did need to get more fuel. Well, he's going to be racing him out of pit lane. This is going to be interesting coming into turn 1. He's already got up enough speed. He just pulls out in front. Times are a little bit cool. Sebastian closed in very quickly, carrying a lot of speed. So Chaz has got a lot more fuel currently, and his tyres will be cool. So Sebastian's got a very good opportunity to try and have a crack and get around him. And if he does, all he has to do is just hold him off for a few more laps. Ooh, he's going to have a go at him. A slingshot, not enough. Gets that pace in. He carries a lot. Young driver Sebastian doing a fantastic job. He's up there in between 2 professional supercars drivers. Chaz Mostert in the lead, and then in behind him was Jake Kostecki. He was on the podium with the guys last week. Well, a little bit of a lock and slip from Chaz. That's cost him a little bit of time, and I think there's a tiny bit of wall contact as well. Feeling the pressure from Sebastian. Jake 10 seconds in behind Sebastian. So his pit stop just heading in when he did with Sebastian. It took an extra 6 seconds, with Sebastian being in there for 11 and Jake Kostecki taking 17 seconds. Look at that pace from Sebastian. He's really giving it to Chaz. A little bit of a scrape on that warp. There's 4 minutes remaining. This is where we saw Sebastian consider going for a passing move. There's a cheer from that's from Erk. Oh, he's made wall contact. Contact from Chaz as he's weaving. You can see him trying to break that slipstream from Sebastian. We saw Chaz slip out around the hairpin the last lap, losing some ground to force Sebastian to close in. Now on lap 19, about to start lap 20. 3.5 minutes remaining. Chaz starting to pull away now. We have Sean McKenzie and Robbie Bradbury looking to get around on the pit straight. Sean McKenzie having a cracker of a lap, doing a 1:41. We had Robbie for 1:42. He slings out alongside, just gets in the lead, but he's not going to have that inside advantage. Robbie's going to hold on to it and force him through. Side by side again, down along the straight. They've interlocked. They've broken apart. That is very lucky. That could have potentially been a safety car incident. Probably would have been very beneficial for Sebastian if that was the case. Oh, there's some gearbox issues going on for Sean from the sounds of things. Oh, Blake. For those that don't have chat, Blake Urquhart said he binned it a little too hard. Yeah, didn't quite catch what happened when you and Cooper made contact. I think Bruce Robinson has just retired out, whilst being in 13th position. Either that or a disconnect. It's 1.5 minutes remaining. There'll be enough time for them to get around for one more lap. Oh, narrowly avoids that wall through turn 1. Chaz is really pushing this car. He's trying to cover as much ground away from Sebastian. Sebastian looking... Oh, there's wall contact again. Oh no, Sebastian's just spun. That was a heavy wall hit. Turned around, but he's managed to recover. He's got a back marker behind him. That car following up behind is a lapped car. That's Jake Kostecki that's in 3rd position. That's yet to get around him. Sebastian's still looking pretty good. He's only got to hold on for another lap. Not sure if Chaz is trying. No, he's probably not going to be close enough. Or if he can slow up pace, he could almost force it to finish, as it is based on time. But he's going to cross the line just in time, and then it will be called white flag. And then it will be last lap. I think that's Cooper Murray. No, he's still... Looks like Cooper Murray did retire out. So that's last lap now. Oh no, Sebastian has had to go into the pits. That's going to cost him his shot at... He must have taken significant damage, so he's probably being given the repair flag. So Jake Kostecki moves up into position 2. Sebastian's still in 3rd position. No, Mark Horton has moved up into P3. That was a very quick stop, so he did have to contend with damage. It was 1.2 second stop, so he used the fast repair. It's unfortunate to happen on the last lap. So otherwise it would have been a disqualification for not going in with the repair flag being shown to Sebastian. So the fastest lap still goes to Cooper Murray, 1:37.5. And Chaz do a Brocky and nail that out. He's been really pushing that car. Let's bring up his lap time, see how close he is to getting it. So it won't be a clean sweep. If he doesn't, he can get those 10 bonus points. Chaz will be looking at having a good shot at getting the Apex eSports League stubby cool. It's probably not as fantastic as the trophies he gets from Supercars races, but I'd be more than privileged to be sending one out to him anyway. So congratulations, Chaz, taking the win. Jake Kostecki takes 2nd place. Mark Horton in position 3. We will be having our podium finishers in for an interview. So there we have conclusion of round 2. It's unfortunate for Sebastian Van Del, taking that damage very early on into the last lap. So we'll bring up our results now. And then we have Chaz Mostert taking the win, followed by Jake Kostecki in position 2 and Mark Horton getting on the podium in position 3, and Sebastian Vandel just missing out, so still a good recovery, coming back with 4th position, still being able to score some good points. So there's a few little bits of movement going on. We've got followed by Sean McKenzie, Matt Tesserio, Brad Morris, Aaron Maguire, Robbie Bradbury. I think that's a little bit wrong with those timings there. And I'll bring up thanks to Russell Gander, Aaron Thompson, Bruce Robinson, Graham Ellis, Blake Urquhart, Cooper Murray, Stephen Banks, and Troy Mortensen at the back end. So I'll light up our guys into Discord. And we have Jake, Chaz, and Mark Horton. Congratulations, Chaz, on the win.
Hey, thanks. Cheers.
It was pretty close with fuel. Were you heading in to get fuel towards that back end? It was a very quick stop because we saw you go in under caution and didn't know if you'd have enough fuel to be able to last out the remainder.
Yeah, unfortunately I got in a bit of a crash, and then that damaged the car, and the caution came out as I crashed, which was perfect. So I was very lucky, or I wouldn't have won the race. And yeah, limped the car back in and got the fast repair, and while you're there, obviously put some fuel in as well. So then yeah, started the hard work again from the back.
Yeah, that was very good, and you had a bit of pressure from those last few laps from Sebastian as well. He was really giving it to you, and then unfortunately had that spin and got taken out.
Yeah, I only just saw it in a mirror very lightly, but you know, he was obviously very quick. He was the guy we were trying to hunt down. You know, definitely after the crash, and yeah, it was good to have some pace, and raced me old mate Jakey as well. I think he might have buggered his pit stop up, or we would have really had a good tussle towards the end. So yeah, look, it was just a good fun race.
Yep. Yeah, and congrats Jake on position 2. That was great battles with you and Chaz for a good while. You're swapping positions, using that slingshot to get out and around, and a good few nice passes on turn 1.
Yeah, thanks for that. Really enjoying the Formula V races at the moment. Unfortunately, I just messed up my pit stop there. Put front tyres on it when I wasn't meant to put any. And then I got a little bit lucky at the end there with Sebastian making a mistake there and crashing out. So P2, not too bad.
Yep, well done. And congrats Mark too, so on the podium.
Thanks, JT. Yeah, I feel a bit humbled with these big names up here. Unlucky for Sebastian there in the last lap.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, having to pit on that last lap definitely cost him. And then also with you guys missing the start and starting from pit lane as well. So a brilliant recovery.
Yeah, well, yeah, we thought we'd have a bit of fun there. I mean, the field was like 18 cars, so we thought 40 minutes we'll have a bit of a race, and hopefully it made some good watching.
Yeah, no, it was great. Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on board.
Yeah, cheers.
No worries at all.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much, JT.
Look forward to seeing you next week.
Perfect, mate. See you there.
See ya.
Yep, see you then.
Definitely. Thank you very much, JT. See you next week.
No worries. See you, mate. And there we have Chaz Mossett, Jake Kostecki and Mark Horton, our podium finishers. So Chaz setting himself up very nicely for the championship lead. So heading into round 3, we'll be having some great points. So he's got the pole position and the win. He didn't quite get the fastest lap. I think that did still go to Cooper Murray. So 10 bonus points going that way. So not the full clean sweep, but it will be some spectacular racing next week. We have for round 3 is Phillip Island Circuit. So it's going to be pretty good to see what Jake and Chaz and Cooper can do, as well as they would be all too familiar with the track. So there's going to be some great racing going on. So if you do want to get involved in any of our races, don't forget to check out our Facebook page. All the details are there. You can join our Facebook group as well. And then, or you can search for Apex Esports League, and you can get on track and race with Chaz, Cooper and Jake as well. And then we did even see a couple other names join in during the week that hopefully we can see them jump on track. So thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that follow button, and then we do put all our previous races on YouTube, so you can check out our YouTube channel and catch the previous week's round. So there's plenty of action from that as well. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you trackside next week.